Welcome to the Australian room here at the Acoustic Centre for what is a very special and exciting day. Joining me from the Maton Custom Shop is Master Luthier himself, Mr. Andy Allen.
Hello.
Andy visits us from time to time. It's always a great thrill to have him here, but especially today because we'd like to show the world something we've been working on for a while. This is the 30th anniversary of the Acoustic Centre. We've been going strong for 30 years, and to commemorate the year we've had some very special guitars built from our friends at Maton Guitars, and they have just arrived today. So this is the first look at not one but three Acoustic Centre Limited, I guess we've called it the Country Western model, Andy.
Yes.
They've just arrived and we're going to tell you all about them. Andy, hold that guitar. Tell us about how all this started and what you came up with for this model.
Okay, alright, well probably a precursor to what the start of this was. I've actually been with Maton for 30 years too.
Right.
And along that journey, a few years ago with yourself and Joshy, you guys were always gracious enough to open the doors and let me wander through everything you had here. So that was an early stage of, taking the custom shop to the next level.
Yeah.
So that was, you guys were very instrumental in part of my journey as well. So when you come to me to basically design the guitar with us, I was wrapped, and I really wanted to. The amount of years I've brought guitars to you guys going, try this one, and there may always be, another brand that might just pip in, go back to the workshop. So it was very important that these ones were the best ever.
It's like a culmination of everything we've learned and everything you've learned together.
Yeah, so some of the things we've done here, when Dan first come into Maton to just talk about what it is that Acoustic Centre might want, he largely wanted to lean on our old CW80 model, which is kind of like our famous model, as far as Martins and D28s and all of that. The CW80 was very renowned at Maton, and we currently aren't making them at the moment, and you want to lean on the idea of bringing back that old CW sound.
Yeah, one of the things we love about Maton is the heritage of the company. There aren't many guitar brands at all that have been around since, 1946, something like that. And we love tradition, we love traditional guitars, and so we wanted to bring a bit of that back with this model. Always been a favourite of ours, the CW80. The late 70s, early 80s CW80s, if you can ever get your hands on them, are just incredible guitars, and so we wanted to build one for ourselves.
Yeah, well, the old CWs had a much lighter bracing on them from the old days of Maton, so incorporating the newer, more modern bracing, using scallop bracing and all that thing, we've emulated basically that old sound, which I'm fully au fait with. That was the bracing that we used when I was a young bloke starting out at Maton. But after doing nearly 1,500 custom shop guitars, the bracing evolves in various forms. And one thing we did discuss with it was, you were talking about those very pronounced trebles, but you still wanted that big fat bass sound, which those old CWs were all boom. Maybe not as much sparkle, but so we've actually done that. We've kept the treble side a lot firmer, and the bass side is actually scalloped out. So sort of one half of the guitar's standard and one half scallop.
Right.
We have used the genuine mahogany, so not like African mahogany, anything like this. This is the proper Honduran / Brazilian genuine mahogany. They've got the Adirondack spruce tops with matched Adirondack bracing as well. So we literally use the same bracing as the tops are made of, and then I handmade all the bars to be made from Adirondack as well, rather than mixing and matching it up like that. The neck is the beautiful genuine mahogany also, and we've done that in satin finish, so lovely nice feel on the back of the neck too with the vintage tuners. And then the edge binding to simulate, you know, like an overwood or something. It's actually figured satin box from down southern Victoria. So,
yeah. So the originals would have been an Ivoroid.
The originals
plastic
were,
sorts.
an Ivoroid plastic.
That's the real deal timber binding.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And on the scratch plates, Dane really wanted to capture that old look as well. So the scratch plates are actually handmade, and they're 2 mil thick, so they're a lot thicker than the standard scratch plate.
Yep.
Just to give it that vintage look.
That's a special custom designed scratch plate, a different shape, but it's nice to have that black scratch plate back on a Maton guitar. Again, always looks great. This is one of the most exciting parts. Andy, talk us through the headstock.
Well, yeah. We all love the old Maton branding. It's probably the 80s and 90s branding. It certainly was what we were using when I started. So,
yeah.
You know, always had a soft spot walking around with a shirt with that particular logo on it.
Yeah.
Later on, we did go back to the original branding,
right,
which is what the current Maton logo is now. So to see that old logo back on the guitar, now these look extra special because they're actually 2 millimeter thick solid pearl inlaid into the headstock. So they're not a water slide decal or a thin layer of mother of pearl type of decal. They're 100% 2.5 mil thick solid mother of pearl.
Yeah.
Which gives it a lovely look.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All of that you'll see with every guitar that I make in the custom shop. I take a series of photographs, so each guitar comes with a nice Maton custom shop USB with all the photographs of that guitar being made. So you can actually see inside, you can see what I'm talking about, you can see the inlay going in, being glued into the headstock, and basically see the genuineness of it all, you know, and there's no smoke or mirrors.
No, all done by hand.
Nothing's hidden, I make every part of it, and yeah, you get that too with a nice certificate of authenticity signed by myself and Neville and Linda, the owners of Maton, and just to keep it real type of package, which is what I would want if I was buying a guitar.
The sound of the guitar, we'll do proper studio quality recordings of all of these, but the sound is just exactly what we were going for. It's that airy, big, breathy, sparkly, deep Maton sound. The guitar weighs the weight of a violin. It's a truly world-class guitar, entirely handmade by Andy. I mean, it's just an honour to have Andy build these guitars. Andy is the Maton Custom Shop. A lot of people, I don't think, realise that the Maton Custom Shop is Andy Allen. So when Tommy Emmanuel wants a guitar, it's Andy that builds it. When Neil Finn wants a guitar, it's Andy that builds it. And to have him build these commemorative guitars for us is a huge thrill. There's 6 of them coming. We have the first 3. You'll hear a lot more about them. We'll record them, we'll photograph them, but right now we just wanted to show you that they're here. And I think that's about it, Andy. Anything else you want to add?
No, it was quite an honour to be able to do this for you guys.
Yeah.
So in the custom shop, I do treat every customer like special. Every guitar I make, even though it might be a replica of Tommy's guitar, it's exactly what Tommy got. There isn't any little extra herbs or spices. So when you come to ask me to do this, you know,
you were excited.
I was excited. And so the time I spend with these guitars, it's good stuff. You know, so I was genuinely honoured and knocked out, and then I sort of crossed my fingers that you guys have it.
You've nailed it. It's the exact look and sound we were going for. It's a great thrill. Thanks so much for coming in today. We'll go and play some guitars. Thanks to Maton. Thanks for everything you've done for us. There'll be a lot more info coming on these guitars shortly. Thanks for joining us.